She did it with a smile, coffee mug in her palm, like she was offering peace when it was a change of rules. I invited my best friend. He's in town for 2 days. You're not against it, right? She didn't even pause for my answer. Our 2-year anniversary dinner had been on the calendar for a month. I had the reservation. I'd picked the place. I planned to keep it simple. Steak, a bottle, that grown-up quiet where you look at someone and know you built something worth keeping. She replaced it with a guest list. You already told him the time? I asked, stirring eggs that didn't need stirring. Jenna tucked hair behind her ear. Don't be rigid, Mark. You two need to connect. You'll get along. He's your friend, not ours. He's important to me. Don't be like this. I set the spoon down. You're telling me our date is now a trio. She sipped, as if she'd read an article on how to look reasonable while bulldozing. He's only here 48 hours. You can be flexible for once. I'm flexible plenty, I said. Just not elastic. Meaning what? Meaning I'll see you at 7. If you bring him, you bring him. I didn't argue. I didn't beg. I wanted the pattern clear in my head, because patterns tell you where people are driving. If I'd known where it was headed, I would have started the recorder sooner. The place was small, dark wood, the kind of spot where the server remembers your face. I walked in at 6:58 and Tyler, yeah, the best friend, was already planted at our table, shoulders spread like he owned the grain. He lifted a cocktail at me without standing. Mark, we started without you. Traffic man. He didn't wait for an answer. Jenna laughed at something he finished before it started. Miguel, the server, looked at me with that neutral face people use when they've been given instructions. We've got you at this table, sir. Would you like to see the wine list, or? Tyler waved his hand. We're getting the good stuff. Big night. Jenna glanced at me. It's our anniversary, she told Miguel, eyes on Tyler. Let's celebrate. Miguel hesitated, then nodded and left. They were mid-story, college something, a prank, a professor with a nickname. And I set my phone face down, and listened like a third wheel at my own thing. So then he says, Tyler leaned in, lowering his voice enough to make it intimate without including me. Tell him, Jen. It was legendary, she giggled. And there it was, old photos in her eyes, and the chair I was supposed to occupy in this memory had been sold to nostalgia. Let's reset, I said, easy tone. Jenna, happy anniversary. I'm glad we're here. Maybe we can do one round of toasts and then the stories after. Tyler didn't blink. Dude, chill. We'll get to you. You don't have to be the cruise director. Jenna put a hand on his wrist. Be nice, she said to him, smile sugar-coated. Then to me, don't be stiff, okay? It's just dinner. Miguel returned with a bottle that looked like rent. Tyler tapped the label. This one, in honor of the day. He did it like a man who had never looked at a price tag in front of anyone who would pay it. Miguel read back the number out of habit. Jenna didn't look at me. Sounds perfect, she said. I glanced at the label, back at Miguel. Before you open anything, I told him, I'm paying for my meal and my drink. Do not bring anything to the table I didn't order to my tab. Jenna's eyebrows shot up. Excuse me. I kept my voice steady. We're not doing group spending tonight. Food, yes. I'll toast with something I choose. Tyler chuckled. This is what we're doing? Counting items. We're doing adult math, I answered. Miguel exhaled quietly. I can split checks, he said, like a lifeline thrown from the shore. Great, I said. I'll take an old-fashioned. And the ribeye medium. Tyler raised his glass at me again. For real, man? It's a special bottle. Special to the person ordering it, I said. Jenna drew back, like I'd tapped her with a ruler. You're making a scene. No, I told her. I'm making a boundary. There's a difference. Tyler grinned at her. He's intense. She laughed again. He gets like this, she told him, as if I wasn't there. It was an invitation for him to be her mirror. We ate. They talked like a two-handed show. I tried twice to steer to us, vacation plans, our next month. But Tyler cut me off both times with his trivia, and she kept rewarding it with attention. When Miguel poured their third round from the rent bottle, Tyler lifted his glass. To old friends, he said too loud, eyes on Jenna. To history. They clinked. She didn't even glance at me. I put my napkin on the table. Happy anniversary, I told her, not bitter, just factual. I'm going to settle my check. Enjoy your history. She grabbed my arm. Seriously? Tyler snorted. Wow. Miguel slid the check to me like we were in a movie. I paid, tipped him well because it wasn't his circus, and stood. Mark, you're embarrassing me, Jenna hissed. No, I replied. You did that when you brought him to our date and spent my money in his direction. This fixes the embarrassment. I nodded to Miguel. He gave the tiniest nod back because witnesses live on micro-truths. Then I walked out into the evening air and made a decision. We were going to live by new rules now, whether she liked them or not. The next move would tell me everything. She came home late, the sound of her key loud in a quiet kitchen. I was at the table, laptop open, not performing anger, just writing new lines in a shared life. Unbelievable, she began, tossing her purse. You humiliated me. I shut the laptop. I paid for what I consumed. You had a nice time with Tyler. Looks like a win. That was a gift for us. No, it was a performance for him, sponsored by me. I corrected. That tab is closed. New rule. No more using my card for group fun unless I'm the one swiping. You want to host, you host. She scoffed. You're controlling. And jealous. Neither. I'm careful with respect. We can get back on track, but not if the text thread in your head continues to read, Mark pays, Tyler entertains. She folded her arms. You need to be friends with him. You're making it weird. Not my job to apply for positions in your social life, I told her. Here's what I'll do instead. Separate accounts for discretionary spending, separate calendars for social events. Put your plans on your side. I'll show up where I'm invited as a partner. You're punishing me. I'm setting governance. You tripped a wire. You'll be fine. She stared, then softened like a switch flipped. Okay, she said quieter. Maybe I pushed. I'll make it up to you. How? Dinner tomorrow. Just us. My treat. No surprises. That was the first soft turn. I noted it, notched it, and kept the distance. Text me the time, I told her, and went to sleep on the guest room bed because symbols matter. The next evening she did what she promised. Small spot. Just us. She apologized in a neat sentence. I accepted the sentence, not the revisionist history. We talked about my little podcast that had started to gain traction, old records, stories of the bands, the kind of thing guys my age put on while they change oil in the garage. She even asked questions. It felt like someone remembered me, or at least remembered the role. I want to understand your thing, she said, sipping water. What's so special about these old records? They were there before streaming, I said. They lasted. She smiled. You're being poetic. I'm being literal, I said, which made her laugh. We drove home, and for a second my shoulders stopped being armor. 2 nights later, I came back from the barber shop and my vinyl shelves looked neatened. Too neatened. Gaps where there were no gaps. The first press of a blues classic wasn't where it belongs. A limited run from a garage band I grew up on had vanished. 14, maybe 15 sleeves gone. The room smelled like cleaner and wrong. Jenna? I called. Staying calm on purpose. She walked in from the kitchen with that helpful expression people use when they want credit for rearranging. I helped you tidy. You always talk about cataloging. I figured I'd get you started, she said. Some of those dusty things in the hall closet were just taking up space. What did you move? I put some away. Don't be dramatic. Which ones? She rolled her eyes at the question. They're fine. I pulled out the spreadsheet I keep for insurance. Dates, serials, values. The holes lined up. That closet isn't storage, I told her. It's purgatory when I clean sleeves. What did you do? She smiled. You're welcome. Like I should praise the initiative. My phone buzzed on the counter. Unknown number, attached to a text bubble with Tyler's tone wearing his face. Hey man, Jenna asked me to help move some of your old vinyl to keep it safe during her spring clean. A couple sleeves were cracked. Accident. We figured you wouldn't mind since you don't even play them much. We put boxes in the complex storage. All good. I looked up at her. You gave my collection to Tyler. Her eyes flashed annoyance disguised as calm. I asked him to help lift. Don't twist it. And he cracked sleeves, I said, holding up the phone. They're records, Mark. People listen to music, not worship it. That collection is worth around $4,000. I told her, not loud, not trembling, just the truth. And it's mine. Prove it, she said. And it was the first time I saw the real script. You never even show it off. What does it matter if it's in a closet? I opened my podcast site on the laptop and pointed to episode thumbnails with dates and cover art, me holding specific albums, timestamps where I pull the needle back and talk about the sound. Then I pulled up posts with my name on receipts from record shows. Then photos from last month with my nephew. Me teaching him how to place the arm properly. I didn't narrate. I didn't defend. I just stacked facts. She didn't look. You're blowing this up, she snapped. You humiliated me at dinner, and now you're playing cop in your own house. Don't make me the bad guy because you want to fight. Where are my records? In the storage room, she said. Complex has lockers. Which one? Her lips twitched. In the corner. I walked to the management office, asked for the storage log, and got a polite shake of the head. No access without the unit holder. So I went back, took pictures of the empty gaps, of the text from Tyler, of Jenna telling me she moved things. I opened my mic, hit record, and read the time, date, and facts. Then I called non-emergency. I didn't dramatize it, I documented. Officer Daniels showed up, took in the neat living room, the shelves, the sheet where serial numbers live. You two in a dispute, he asked. We're in a disagreement about ownership, I said. I have documentation. The property was moved without my consent. I'd like a report. Jenna crossed her arms. We share a home. He's being petty. Daniels looked at her. Ma'am, did you move items he purchased? She shrugged. I tidied. He nodded, like he'd heard that line all week. Sir, I'll write the report. I can't make anyone hand anything over, but you'll have a number. Take pictures of everything. Email yourself copies. If there's a storage unit on the property, management can verify who signed for it. After he left, I created a folder with date stamps and uploaded everything to the cloud. Then I went to my desk, pulled out the spare keys I hadn't given Jenna, and drove to my buddy Vic's garage studio. You're early, he said, opening the roll-up door. Vic is my co-host sometimes. Big laugh. Owns the most reliable coffee maker in the neighborhood. Got a situation, I said, carrying in the boxes of the albums that remained. I'm staging here for a bit. He whistled at the list I handed him. She moved what? What? Control, I said. And a test. I failed the test by not funding her dinner show. Now she's testing if I'll chase. You going to? He asked. I shook my head. No. I'm going to move the game to paperwork. Back at the apartment, I changed the Amazon account password, pulled my card from the shared ride app, and sent Jenna a text that read like an invoice. We were implementing split expenses effective immediately. With a simple rule. What you move, you return. What you break, you replace. What you deny, I document. She replied with a string of lines about me being cold. About me not trusting her. About me needing help. I didn't debate. I scheduled time at the storage company down the street and rented my own unit. I moved the turntable, the amps, the rest of the collection Vic was holding. I left the living room looking staged, because staged rooms expose what's missing. 36 hours later, she came in warm. I overstepped, she said, light voice, a casserole dish in her hands like a sitcom apology. I shouldn't have touched your stuff. Tyler didn't mean to break anything. We just wanted to help. She set the dish down, slid closer, touched my shoulder. Let me fix this. I'll call and get the boxes back. Please stop with the police report and insurance. It's too much. I raised an eyebrow. You'll call? And bring them back today. Tomorrow at the latest. I'll go with you, I said. She flinched a half inch. You don't trust me. I'm done operating on trust where there's evidence, I said. We go together now. She pulled her hand back. You're being cruel. I'm being thorough, I corrected. She left the dish, grabbed her phone, and walked to the bedroom to make the call. I paced to the balcony and listened to the way silence has temperature. 10 minutes later, my phone buzzed. Tyler again, because of course. Dude, I checked the locker. Some of those got damp. The storage guy said the corner leaks. A couple sleeves warped. I'm sure it's no biggie. Maybe just let it go? Jen is stressed. I took a screenshot. Then another. Then I called my insurer and started a claim while Jenna hovered. You're really doing this, she muttered. I am, I confirmed. I'm also moving out tonight. That was the initiative on unfamiliar turf. I did it in her space, with her in the doorway, not waiting for permission. I packed what was mine, loaded my trunk, and left a basic note with bullet points. Separate finances, separate homes for now, communicate logistics by text only. I booked a month-to-month at a place closer to Vic's studio. No drama, no slamming, just the cart and the elevator and the sound of doors opening that weren't being guarded. The next week was pressure from every angle. Her sister called, half whisper, half scold. You're hurting Jenna. Stop making a big deal about records. It's not about records, I told her. It's about respect, access, and consequence. Can't you be the bigger person? I am, I replied. I'm doing the boring, grown-up route. It takes longer, and it sticks. Jenna texted at midnight one night. Meet me at the coffee shop. We can resolve this without all your paperwork. I answered at 7 the next morning. I'll meet to exchange property. Bring the boxes. I'll bring an itemized list. Public place. 10 a.m. She responded with a paragraph about me being cold and transactional. I let it float away. We met. She arrived alone, no boxes. This has to stop, she said, crossing her legs too precisely. You're making me look bad. You did that, I said calm. Where are my records? In storage, she repeated. Which locker? She stared out the window. I don't remember. That was the moment I knew the second soft turn was over. The kindness had been a tool. The tool was now a hammer. Kara from the insurance company met me at Vic's studio 2 days later. You documented all this? She asked, scanning the folder I'd shared. Pictures, timestamps, receipts, plus a text admitting movement and damage. Good, she said. File a follow-up with the report number. I'll need a valuation list and proofs you own these specific items. I pointed to the podcast episodes with dates. My voice mentioning pressing numbers, the cover art in frame. That enough? She nodded. It will be. We'll also ask for any communications that indicate access without consent. I forwarded Tyler's text. Kara whistled. That's candid. His gift, I said. Jenna's next play was public shame. A mutual acquaintance, one of her co-workers from the nonprofit, sent me a message. People are talking. This is bad for her job. Maybe you could stop? Be kind. I answered with one line. I'm correcting a taking. No explanation. No venting. By the following week, I had the claim filed, the police report amended, and a date on the calendar for a hearing in small claims. I sent Jenna a simple notice with the amount, $6,500 to cover replacement, damage, and costs. She replied with 8 texts in a row. The summary was the same old song. I was cruel. I was making it worse. I was driven by ego. I was trying to control her life. I didn't sing along. I boxed up the last of my things and delivered her keys to the leasing office with a form that removed me from the unit. I didn't leave a note. Notes are for people who need the last word. I wanted the last action. The hearing day came. I wore a plain shirt, brought my folder, didn't bring a cheering section. Jenna came with her mother, with Tyler in the hallway pretending to be casual. The room was beige and indifferent, the way truth prefers it. When it was my turn, I didn't tell a story. I showed the list, the photos from before and after, the podcast clips held up on a tablet with timestamps, the text from Tyler admitting cracks in storage. I handed over the police report number. I kept it short. The hearing officer looked at Jenna. Did you move these items? She stared ahead. I helped organize. Did you have permission? She swallowed. He's my partner. We live together. The officer tapped the desk gently. That's not permission. Her mother jumped in from the back, voice tight. He's trying to ruin her life over music. The officer raised a hand without looking. Ma'am, you're not a party. Jenna tried to pivot. I donated some to a thrift place because he never used them. I thought he'd be fine with it. Do you have receipts from the donation? The officer asked. Silence. Tyler shifted next to the wall like he wanted to be anywhere else. The officer flipped through my folder again. There's admission of movement, admission of damage, documentation of ownership and value. I'm awarding $5,800 to the plaintiff. Payable per the schedule we set. This is not optional. It was over in 9 minutes. No theatrics. No slow claps. Just a decision and paper. In the hall, Jenna's mother moved toward me. Are you happy with yourself? I'm fine, I said. I'm simply done subsidizing bad behavior. Tyler tried a handshake that never found a hand. Hey man, if I'd known. You did know. I cut him off. You read the price tag and tried to charge it to me. I leaned in just enough for it to land and not so much that it became a scene. Play stupid games, I told him, voice level. Get stupid prizes. Jenna stood with her arms folded, eyes hard. You'll regret making this public. No, I answered. You made it public when you brought an audience to our date. This is just the bill. Her job didn't survive the noise. A week after the decision, I got a message from that same coworker. Admin leave, then gone. The payments started 2 months later, 300 on the dot on the first of the month, sometimes late by a day, always with the memo field blank. I had them auto-filed, auto-logged. I didn't respond. I didn't gloat. I stacked the transfers next to the photos of the albums I was slowly recollecting. Life after is quieter and wider. I moved into a small house near the ridge where you can hear the Friday night game from the high school if the wind points right. The garage became a studio. Vic and I ramped the show, 2 episodes a week, callers, live Q&A where guys wrote in about things they'd kept because they were told they were silly and how they were done being walking wallets. The audience grew. I didn't sell speeches. I played records and told stories about how things used to be made to last. Nora came in through the side door of my life, friend of Vic's wife, an architect who speaks in drawings and gets to the point. First time she walked into my studio, she looked at the shelves and didn't ask what they were worth. "What's your favorite?" she said instead. I handed her a sleeve with a picture of a kid in a denim jacket, hair a mess, eyes ready to run. "This one. Play it," she said, sitting on the old couch I'd rescued from a neighbor. She listened, not to be impressed, but to hear. When the side flipped, she asked about the story behind track 3. Nobody had asked me about track 3 in a long time. Some nights we drive out for tacos and don't talk much, which is the high watermark of knowing. As for Jenna, every now and then somebody mentions seeing her at a strip mall store with a name that promises discounts and delivers flickering lights. She clocks in, clocks out, clocks what's left. I'm told her circle got smaller. Tyler's name shows up less in her photos. She keeps up online appearances. That's her right. I still get the 300. It posts, I log it, and I put half aside in a fund for my nephew. Kid wants a drum kit. The rest I use to buy back 1 record at a time. I learned patience from the claims department. People ask me if I miss her. I miss the hope I had before I watched her trade our seat for a spotlight and my card for a prop. But missing isn't the same as wanting back. I want respect. I have it now because I put it where I live, in rules, not in wishes. Sometimes a guy writes in, he's got a story that smells like mine. Someone in his life brought a surprise guest to a private table and then passed the bill. He wants to know what to do. I don't give speeches. I tell him what I did. Pay for what's yours. Leave the show. Document everything. Move the game where feelings can't rewrite facts. And when it's time to close the tab, close it. Don't stand there hoping the other two will invite you back. And when he asks what it felt like in the hallway after the decision, with everyone staring at me like I'd burned down a nice idea, I tell him the only line that mattered, the line I used and meant. "You played a silly game," I said to the mess I was walking away from. "You won a silly prize." Then I went home, put on track